Well, hi everybody, and welcome to That Fallout Show, episode 48, and still be with you. I am Rick McVick, and with us tonight, as always, is the great and wonderful and powerful and sultry and... I need another one. Help me.
I don't know.
The almighty Shaline.
Wow, that's a bit much, Rick. I feel like you've set this up.
Yes.
Like I'm here, but the bar is way up here. So
Well, jump. You have the mutant powers now.
Indeed. I'll
boingies.
just chug down one of those marsupial serums, and there I go. I'll reach the bar. Hi, how's everybody?
And how are you?
I'm doing okay. Yeah, I'm doing okay. I'm glad the week is over. I'm looking forward to having a couple of weekend days to recharge after this week and hopefully play some Fallout.
Yeah, I know. I need some time off. I don't know when I'll ever get it, but, at one of these days, it'll happen. But anyway, tonight, you'll notice that the great and fabulous Clanker Vendertron is not here this evening because he had some stuff that he needed to take care of tonight, but he does send his well wishes and warmest regards and all of his nuts and bolts. So anyway, moving on. How you can help us promote this show is by sharing us on your social media, sending us some mails, subscribing, retweeting our thingies, and of course, the best way to do this is tell your friends about us and host us on Twitch. And word of mouth, peoples. Spread it. Got it. All right, so tonight, I'm going for the dramatic pauses, like Calculon.
That. Yes.
Tonight's going to be a great show! Which the problem is it always seems longer in your head.
Mm-hmm.
So that may have been like a 2-second pause, but in my head I'm like...
It was long enough to be super awkward. 4. Yeah, it was long enough to be super awkward. Welcome
to everyone in the chat coming in. Thank you for joining us. Tonight, you can expect such lovely goodies as news, gameplay, and some emails. But before we get started, Shaline, we have some 5-star review shout-outs and some newbies to the Discord. Shout them out.
We do. We have a new 5-star review from JVAlex7 from the US. And they say, the best podcast for news, gameplay, and general conversation about Fallout. Been listening since OTR and listening here. Keep it up. Thank you for that 5-star review, JV Alex. And if you would like to read one and if you would like to leave one and be shouted out, just leave us a 5-star review on iTunes with a little bit of text. Those absolutely help us gain some visibility on podcast aggregates. So we really appreciate it. We also have some new folks to the Discord this week. We love to welcome them on the show. So we have a couple that are back from the corner of shame. And the first one is BitTrash Riot. And he was not actually kicked from the server for naughtiness. I'm not sure what happened. Archon and I were playing video games. BitTrash hopped on. So we went in the Discord, the voice chat room, and BitTrash somehow got kicked from the server.
Huh.
So he had to rejoin. But welcome back, BitTrash. We also welcome back from the corner of shame, Dave Chaffins, who did tweet a naughty word in the Discord.
Naughty West Virginia.
Yes. So we forgive you, Dave. We welcome you back into the fold. We just love games, Dave, and we also love you. So welcome home. We also have some new folks, Beating You 92 and A Corpse. So welcome to Beating You and A Corpse.
What if it's like A Core?
I guess it could be. It's a P. So it could be like A Core. But I feel like it's A Corpse.
Yeah, but
plus it goes so well together. Beating You, A Corpse.
Okay. I think it's Acorn.
It works.
If that was the case, I would put an end on the end of it. So it'd be like acorns.
Mm-hmm.
Acorns? Anyway, that's terrible. On with something that's not so terrible.
If you like news, you're gonna love our next segment.
We never actually stopped to ask if anyone would love our next segment, but we don't care because we just believe it anyway. What happened in the world of Fallout, Shaline?
Well, we are going to start out with Inside the Vault from yesterday, August the 6th. This one gave us some updates for the month of August. So we start out with some information about QuakeCon. QuakeCon is happening this week. It started today. And of course, because of COVID-19, it is a remote event. It is all being streamed online. There is no in-person convention this year. But loads and loads of streams starting today. And there will be all sorts of things in the Fallout realm. We've got a cooking show, a cosplay interview, a variety show from the folks at the Fallout Hub podcast. So that's going to be Tom Kin and Dave Chaffins himself.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And also, there was a stream today of the Colossal Problem event that's upcoming. So that was very cool. So definitely watch twitch.tv/Bethesda if you would like to see some QuakeCon shenanigans. And in honor of QuakeCon, Bethesda is giving out some free items in the Atom Shop, which is delightful. The first one is the Beelzebub outfit, which is basically the Sheep Squatch jammies, only they're black and evil in their aspect. You know, they have they're black, they have the red trim, and the Sheep Squatch hat has got like red little beady eyes and
little
red horns. Yeah, well they're massive, yeah.
They're bloodshot.
It's the Sheep Squatch mascot outfit. I've always considered it PJs because it looks really soft. You know, it looks like a soft, like a sort of
PJs
felt onesie. Yes.
Every time someone says PJs, I think of PJs.
They are my PJs.
You have to like move the mouth 50 times for one word.
I love it. It's so good. For anybody who doesn't understand why we're cackling wildly, it's Nacho Libre reference. Also, the Mr. Demonic backpack, which is a Mr. Fuzzy who is a demonic Mr. Fuzzy backpack. I kind of creeps me out, to be 100% honest. It kind of creeps me out.
Aren't they all kind of demonic, though? Like the Mr. Fuzzies? Like, the thing that's kind of weird about the Fallout universe is all of the plushies seem to be a little anthropomorphic. Like, just a little bit. Like Toy Story, when you look away, they move.
Yes, I see that. I see that for sure. There's also, I don't know, I can't think of Mr. Fuzzy without thinking of the song that plays when you ride the Mr. Fuzzy ride.
Yeah.
And I feel like it takes on a very disturbing aspect paired with this demonic Mr. Fuzzy, because it's like, Mr. Fuzzy is your friend. Mr. Fuzzy loves to play. And then you've got like
a murder
evil
mystery.
Mr. Fuzzy with a carving knife, like gonna
a butter knife because it hurts more.
Ugh, ouch, ouch.
They gotta saw at it for a while with a butter knife. And then they're like, oh wait, wrong side. That wasn't the side with the teeth. Because you know how butter knives have little...
claim those until Monday, August 10th, and they are available now. I claimed mine yesterday. I don't know that I'll use them, but I have them. They've also revisited the community calendar to make some updates so that this information is as up to date as possible. Because, of course, they did delay the Colossal Problem event, which was supposed to launch this week with patch 21. Instead, they're looking at bringing that in a couple of weeks to you. And, of course, the Fortifying Atlas began on August the 4th, that event. Meat Week will return August 18th through August 24th. And then part 2 of the Fortifying Atlas project will start on August 27th. So those are the updates to our community calendar. And I closed the article before I was done reading it. So
I want to know
if you'll just give me one moment.
What's so complicated about this event, the Colossal Problem? How broken could it be? I mean, it's a boss.
I don't know, Rick.
You kill it, you get rewards.
How broken could it be, you say?
But
it could be very broken, Rick.
I understand that, but I just mean that, like, I mean, it's not like they haven't done a boss fight event before. I mean, look at the Scorched Queen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know that was initial
Yes, the
development,
Scorched Queen works just right every time. Yeah,
But-
every single time.
isn't this the second time it's been delayed too?
It is, yeah. They've had to push this back a couple of times because I don't know what the problem is, but something's just not working the way it should. And frankly, I'd rather they put it back in the oven until it's
Sure.
completely done.
I have no qualms. I'm not upset at all, but I'm flabbergasted.
Hmm.
That
I understand, yeah, but I
But,
feel like you say, how broken can it be? And they take it as a challenge. How broken can it be?
and yeah, until no one plays it. Okay, no, I'm looking forward to this roadmap. I mean, it's yeah, I'm looking forward to discussing more about the Atlas event too.
Yeah, let's roll into that right now. That is the next item in this week's Inside the Vault. The Fortifying Atlas event kicked off this week with patch 21. So Russell Dorsey is an NPC who has stationed himself at Atlas Observatory in the Savage Divide, and he is preparing the way for the Brotherhood of Steel. Oh, breaking news. This just in. Jessica Starr, my fellow Dame Who Games and host of the Fallout feed, has popped into chat to tell us that Bethesda has just announced that they are going to reverse the wall-to-door build issue that the building community has been quite up in arms about. That was something that was introduced in patch 21. It was a bug fix, basically, that stopped a glitch where you could switch a door piece to a wall piece and vice versa. And builders would use this to do all kinds of cool things with their camps, making circular camps, that kind of thing. But in fixing this glitch, fixing, I say with air quotes, it caused a lot of problems for these people who love to do creative things with their builds. That was a very useful tool, that glitch. So they are working on rolling that back so that people will be able to use that again. So thank you, Jess, for popping in with that bit of information. So hot off the presses. But back to Fortifying Atlas.
Starkiller also said in here, fixing, I say with air quotes, and then dash a Fallout story.
Oh, poor Bethesda. So Fortifying Atlas, Russell Dorsey has stationed himself at Atlas Observatory, where the Brotherhood of Steel is coming in time. And he's trying to rebuild this place. He's trying to prepare. And to help him, players have to donate materials, junk materials. This first week is steel, and 125 million steel was the goal. That goal was met. So every player can log in to the Atom Shop and unlock the Brotherhood of Steel. What is this kind of hat called? Beret? A beret. A
Yeah.
Brotherhood of Steel beret. I know, I'm the hat person, and I just
Anyway.
forgot the word for beret. Yeah, so we can all claim that. And next week, they will be requiring concrete, and it goes on and on with different junk items. They need a bunch of cork for some reason. I think week 3 is cork, so I don't know what they're going to do with all that cork, but presumably bulletin boards, lots of bulletin boards everywhere. And that is the Inside the Vault update for this week.
Nice.
Indeed. What do you think, Rick? What do you think about the Atlas Observatory situation?
So I was perusing Reddit while you were talking, not to ignore you, but I was looking for like a list of who's keeping like tally of this. You know what I mean? I don't know what the current. I know we're close already.
Yeah, you can see it on Bethesda.net. There is a website. It is pinned in our Discord in the Fallout 76 channel.
I'll have to check that out.
And yeah, they update it every evening around 6 Eastern, I think. And we have met the goal for the steel. So.
Oh, cool. I saw a couple people in Reddit saying like, BOS can go get their own stuff. I don't work for pennies. Because they weren't happy with the rewards. But it just goes to show that like how many people actually care or like doing stuff like this. Because I mean, I think the steal was hit. What was this like? 4 days? Like something stupid? Like it wasn't that long.
It was not very long at all. It was almost completed 2 days early, almost.
Yeah.
And it was completed a full day early. So
the thing that I see happening is that the Brotherhood of Steel is going to be not friendly with people. And me and Archon were discussing what may happen to, oh my goodness, I forgot his name. Not Riley.
Russell Dorsey.
We were discussing what would happen to him, and you were saying that he would be disenfranchised. He would be brought on board to the BOS, but then kind of the wool, as it were, pulled from his eyes, or the scales falling from his eyes.
The scales would fall from his eyes. I believe that was Archon's theory.
And my theory is that he's going to get turned away. They're going to basically say, "Thank you, you're dismissed. Bye now."
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of my theory. I definitely don't think that they're going to be friendly. And I feel like us procuring all of these assets for them is just kind of foreshadowing their greed, as it were, on the Appalachian Wasteland.
It's really interesting. The thing with the Brotherhood of Steel is that Fallout 3 is really the only Fallout game in which they were unequivocally good guys. And they've existed in a much more gray area in every other Fallout game. But I feel like Fallout 3 was where a lot of the current Fallout community jumped on board, and we're so attached to that Lions Brotherhood that we just love the Brotherhood of Steel regardless of their other sins in other incarnations. So I think it's really interesting. I don't think they're going to be necessarily hostile.
No.
I do think they will have their own agenda, but I think they're going to be fun to work for. I don't think it's going to feel like we're doing evil things when we work for the Brotherhood of Steel.
Yeah, there's two sides of this for me. Like, one, it would be really nice to have a faction that's inherently the bad guy. I know we have the Scorched for that and mutants and things like that, but
well, I know they added Raiders as a joinable faction, and they're nice guys.
I like them better than the Settlers.
They
have more personality.
Too. I haven't finished the Wastelanders storyline yet, and I haven't chosen my allegiance, but those Raiders seem like awfully nice guys.
Well, there was a mission in particular that I did for the Raiders that I went, yeah, I'm siding with the Raiders. And that's the first time I've ever done that in a Bethesda game, because I normally always side with not the Raiders. But the difference was the Raiders that you could side with in Nuka World were taking slaves with, blow-up collars on their neck. And I just don't stand for that sort of thing. And these Raiders are kind of like, we take what we want, but we don't kill if we don't have to. Like, they're shakedown artists. And like, in a world where like you could easily just murder people and kind of go away from it, they choose not to do that, but they still they're stick-up artists. So it's this weird. And I'm not saying that that's right, but it's not evil. Like, they're not inherently just evil incarnate.
There's also to consider the fact that the Raiders are from here. This is where they were from before the war. This is their place. Yeah. And the Settlers have come in from the Pit and the Capital Wasteland and all over.
From the Pit. Yeah. So, Movia Strip says Blood Eagles. Yeah, I know, but they're not necessarily a faction. They're like they're kind of like just an enemy that happens to be there. I'm talking about like an organized,
joinable factions,
or not even joinable, but just an organized unit. And so part of me would like the Brotherhood of Steel to be just inherently hostile. However, that shuts off so much opportunity for Bethesda to have a joinable faction that may be evil. We'll say like Institute level evil, where it's like kind of gray area, but there's a lot of opportunity for like Radiant quests and side quests and earnable things that they have in the Brotherhood of Steel. So maybe what's going to happen is you have, the Steel coming in, maybe they're gray area, like the Outcasts, or in Fallout 1 and 2, they were very gray. And especially in Fallout 4, gray area.
In
So
New
maybe it'll be
Vegas
that.
as well.
Yes, yeah. So maybe it's gonna be like that, where Fractured Steel, which happens after this, it's the second coming update. Maybe then we'll have a faction that's just inherently evil, and we'll see
Mhm.
like another war inside of Appalachia. But I would like to see something along those lines happen. Either this one's evil and the next one's joinable, or this one's joinable and the next one's evil. Because it would be nice to have just a bad guy again. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
I
like the
understand.
break. I like the whole Ocean's 11 break-in kind of theme that they have going on with Wastelanders. But I kind of want to have a little bit of a war
And
again.
the thing with the Scorched as an enemy is that they are, they have a certain level of intelligence,
Mhm.
and they have a bit of a hive mind thing going on, but they're not organized, and they don't,
Right.
they don't strategize.
Mhm.
They don't, they're just, numbers. They're zombie type enemies.
They're the Trade
Um,
Federation.
Yeah. And it's always more fun when your enemy has real menace in terms of intelligence, and
Mhm.
when they feel like they're more of an equal, really. So yeah.
Right, and maybe the Enclave. Maybe that could be a fun little evil enemy to come in, or something. I don't know. Like, there's so many different avenues because this isn't like a main. Well, it's canon in the sense they're kind of shoehorning it, but it's not a main Fallout 5. It's not in that
Oh yeah,
linear
it's
thing.
definitely a side game. It's a side story.
So in my mind, that gives them a bit more freedom to play with things that they do. I know that people have been super mad about the lore and the canonization, and like this couldn't happen because blah blah blah. But like, I feel like that's getting a little too nitpicky with a game that was solely built for just fun and entertainment. And
Yeah, I've always believed you can't
seeing
let
what
the
we can
lore
do.
get in the way of the fun.
No, absolutely not. Now, Fallout 5, I would appreciate them keeping that a little bit more in the lines rather
Mhm.
than like just willy nilly, like, oh, and then like Bigfoot shows up.
Oh,
However, I would love Bigfoot. However,
Bigfoot
and like,
would be so good.
but you know what I'm trying to say? I'm trying to say something absurd would happen. Well, then again, it's Fallout. Everything's absurd in Fallout.
Yes. Yes. We know what you mean, though, Rick. We know what you
Yeah.
mean.
Anyway.
You would prefer in a mainline Fallout game that they do be a little more careful and less fast and loose with how they deal with the lore.
Yeah, but
I think
76,
most of us agree.
loosey goosey.
Hmm.
Bigfoot can show up. That'd be great. Could you imagine like looking through your scope and you just scan over and you're like, what was that? What was that? And then you like Bigfoot kind of disappears into like a tree, like a wooded area, and you're like, holy crap, I just saw Bigfoot.
But like, instead of an immediately hostile cryptid, I want Bigfoot to be like Fox. I want him to be well read. I want to go back to his cave, and he's got tomes by all the philosophers. He's made a nice cup of
He's got
tea.
spectacles.
He's wearing some little reading glasses. Yes, and he sits in his armchair and he just reads like I don't know, Ovid or something. It would be just so good.
Voiced by John Cleese.
Perfection. Yes, that is what I want Fallout's version of Bigfoot to be. And wow, was that a major derailment?
Yes, it was. Anyway, let's see if we can't just patch this back together.
Yes, we will try to patch this back together just the way that Bethesda patched Fallout 76 this week with patch 21. Let's
Ooh.
roll through these patch notes, Rick.
It's old enough to drink.
It is, yes. They have had 21 patches.
Nice. And yeah, and this does include Fortifying Atlas, like we talked about, Meat Week, and the delay of Colossal Problem.
Mm-hmm. They did in this patch include some of the groundwork to activate Colossal Problem, and also they included Meat Week is included in the patch. It just hasn't been activated yet. So Fortifying Atlas was the biggest thing, and we've talked about that already. So Project Alpha started August 4th. Project Bravo starts on the 27th. And it is a weekly different project. So I went ahead and just tagged all of the scrap that we're going to need for the whole thing so that I can collect it ahead of time. And of course, Colossal Problem They brought that to the game, but they haven't made it active. And it is an instance multiplayer event that will take place in Monongah Mine in the Savage Divide. And after they've enabled this event, you'll be able to meet an NPC named Maggie Williams in Foundation, where you will learn about this side quest. And the mine is blocked, so you'll have to blast your way in, dropping a nuke. And I'm not sure if they're going to have some kind of a nuke, a special nuke, or if you have to like launch a nuke, if you have to go through the silo and the whole thing. I have a feeling that's probably what you're going to have to do. And it will
rough.
be, yeah, similar to the way that you have to nuke to get the Scorch Beast Queen to spawn. I feel like this will be the same level. You'll have to nuke to get this thing to spawn. And in Monongah Mine, you have a few minutes to prepare, and it is an encounter that is planned for characters who are level 50 or higher. They do recommend teams, and yeah, there's lots of hazards, falling debris, a massive drill, and you are trying to topple the Wendigo Colossus before the timer expires. And there will be all kinds of loot, XP caps, treasury notes, and themed camp items as well. And then you have to escape the mine before it collapses.
I love how they're like, you know, there's enemy creatures and there's hazards and fallen debris, a big massive drill. Like that's like a drill. Like that's somehow a thing. Like I just love how that's slapped in there.
Drills are terrifying. You know,
look out for the bushes. Anyway, I just love how they're like and a massive drill. I don't know.
It is pretty funny.
This sounds fun.
I think so too. I'm looking forward to taking it on. And it says that it's an instanced event, so I'm wondering if that's instanced just for your team.
Ooh,
or is it
that'd be rough.
instanced for everybody who goes in? I don't know. I probably should have researched that before the show. Meat Week returns. That's been added back in. So Meat Week is really fun. I loved Meat Week last year. Graham and his love for Chali is just, it's perfection. I love it. So you can join Graham's Meat Cook. And of course, the Primal Cuts events, like last year, will be available every 15 minutes. So you kill some prime beasts and gather prime meat. And of course, there are different difficulties so that if you are a low or high level character, you have one that is matched to your level. You kill the prime meat and you bring that to Graham's Meat Cook. And of course, every hour on the hour, you will help Graham by putting out fires, playing music, turning the meat spits, cleaning up Chali's poo, and feeding Chali, all kinds of things. And the more successful the meat cook is, the higher your chances are at better rewards. All of the rewards from last year return, and they've also added some new ones. The tenderizer will be a plan that you can obtain so that you can craft your own tenderizers, which of course means that you can obtain legendary tenderizers after you have obtained this plan. So that's very exciting. Yes, legendary tenderizers. Mwahaha.
You know what?
And go ahead.
Sorry, just something we'll get into a little bit more. Well, I'll get into it now. Archon made fun of me the other day we were playing. I had a hunting rifle, and he's like, "Is that just a bone stock hunting rifle you've got there?" And I was like, "Yeah, what's wrong with it, man?"
Was he cleaning his monocle at the time that he said it?
Yeah, quivering almost as he was adjusting it in his eye. But yeah, I didn't have a legendary hunting rifle, and I'd forgotten that until now that in order to get the legendary version of something, you have to have the plan, and I don't think I've got the plan to build the hunting rifle.
Wow.
So maybe that's why I've never gotten a legendary hunting rifle before.
Yeah, for that to be a drop, you have to have the plan. So yeah,
Anyway.
learn that plan and visit Murmurmurg. It'll be great.
Well, I plan on buying that tonight.
They've also updated the ammo converter. Of course, the ammo converter had the worst user interface. It was really, really bad.
I don't know who thought that was a good idea.
I know, right? They have improved that by adding the option to sell 10 times or 100 times the normal amount of ammo. and they have upped the maximum amount of ammo points from 2,000 to 100,000. So hopefully that will help a bit. I feel like the interface is probably still not going to be good enough. I haven't tried it yet since this update, but we will see.
Yeah, now I need to rebuild it.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, like, when you first look on there, and it's like, how many bullets would you like to buy a 45? And it's like 12 is the interval, and you're like,
Yeah.
who thought that, like,
It's
12?
so odd.
Like,
so odd.
I'd like to buy 14 rounds, please, for my 5-round gun.
Archin and Mobius in chat both confirmed that the ammo converter is still awful. But at least that higher maximum amount of ammo points is helpful. That'll help with stash space too, because you can turn those unwanted bits of ammo into points that exist in hammer space instead of in your stash. Legendary loot has been updated for daily quests and events. The rewards can now include the Fixer, Secret Service armor, and others, as long as you have learned the plans for them. And go ahead. You look like you have something to say.
I was just going to say on the ammo converter, I don't understand why they didn't do it as like a trade vendor. So,
that would have made sense.
It's a particular type of script, right, that you can only spend there. And, they just value the script like a legendary, like 38 ammo, which is everywhere. You get like maybe like 1 for, 50 cal, you get like 3 or something. And then to buy it, you just spend the script on whatever ammo. And again, rarity denotes affordability. Why they went through a terminal window, I don't know why.
It's really strange. It's really strange.
I just feel like it was like an offhanded development kind of thing. Like it wasn't a main focus, so...
And that user interface is so bad, but they spent somebody's time on making an animation that does nothing.
An intern. Maybe.
It's so strange. So strange. They've also... Go ahead.
No, sorry. Go ahead.
They've also updated some of the quests and events. An ounce of prevention has been simplified to require only a single blood sample from a feral ghoul. So this was because that quest step caused confusion for new players, and sometimes there was a bug that could block progression. So this will make it smoother. Previously, it required the blood sample from a feral ghoul, also from wolves, and I forget what the third creature was that they required a blood sample from. But I remember that one requiring you to travel all over the map gathering those blood samples. And signal strength at the National Isolated Radio Array, they have removed a wave of difficult robot enemies that spawn, and they've reduced the difficulty of enemies in that area. It was difficult for new characters due to those high-level areas. So now that level is easier for lower-level characters. Mole Rat, thank you, Tasman and Archin. And some additional bug fixes. They've acknowledged a bug with Forager Ally not providing daily quests. They have not been able to address this yet, but they are working on it. There were several animation and art visual things that were addressed, and a number of camp items that were also addressed. One of those is the wall and door switching thing that we talked about earlier, that they will be rolling back to re-enable for people in the building community who missed that. They have implemented a fix to the issue of daily and weekly challenges completing themselves automatically, which is really good. Let's see. Some item fixes, some skin fixes, and different things like that. The herbivore and carnivore mutations were not working quite properly, so they fixed those. Some NPC fixes, performance and stability fixes, quest fixes, user interface fixes, and most importantly, they fixed the bug that was kicking us out of the team at the end of every nuclear winter match.
So we can now
stay in a team.
I was going to say it the same exact way. Like, most important thing they fixed. So
that was driving us nuts.
I do like how one of the perks they fixed here, robotics expert no longer prevents players from trading with vendor bots. Like, they're an expert in robotics, but I cannot talk to that vendor bot. Yeah, I was looking on some of the... what was the other thing I wanted to see here? I don't remember what it was. But, hey, they're fixing stuff. You know, that's good. I think they need to... and I was also reading this in Reddit earlier today, that the Bloodied build is just ripping that Colossal Wendigo apart. And I think Bethesda needs to nerf that Bloodied build.
Have you ever run Bloodied?
No, but I've seen it done, and it's stupid powerful. Like, stupid powerful. And I think they really need to... I think they need to nerf it, because, like, I watched that Queen die once, like, done.
Yes.
And because there was, like, a couple of people running Bloodied, and it's not fair. Like, it's just unbalanced, that's all. Where, like, someone who's just a basic... standard, single shot kind of build, I just plink at this thing when I should be doing a little more damage than like 100. And Bloodied is just like done. So hopefully there's some balancing stuff there.
Yeah, we will see what they decide. I don't run the Bloodied build. I'd never tried that. Just seeing that much radiation on the health bar causes me extreme anxiety.
Panic.
But I'd like to hear from someone who does run Bloodied. So go ahead and write in if you disagree, if you love your Bloodied build. Let us know. Tell us why. We'd love to know. But that's really all we have in the news this week. Shall we go shopping, Rick? I feel like going shopping. It's been a while.
Let's take a walk down the ballistic bargain bin. All right, there are some things that have been added for free to the Atomic Shop, and that is the Vault-Tec gym bag that gets left on the ground when you poot out things that you discarded. And then we have the really strange and fascinating... what did they call it here?
The sleazy heart bed.
Yeah, the sleazy heart bed, complete with a coin machine on the side. Unfortunately, it doesn't do anything like vibrate. But it does beg the question, what are some of the stains on the sheets? I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, that's available. You can get the Beelzebub outfit also until August 10th, and the Mr. Demonic backpack until August 10th. They are free. Until September 22nd, you can get the Thatched Rug for Fallout First members and the Sleazy Bed for Fallout First members as well. The Duffel Loot bag is for everybody. So there you go. I feel like I'm still riding on my high horse with Fallout First. It's nice, Still getting the...
You're enjoying being part of the 1%.
Yes, absolutely. I get the sleazy bed and you guys don't. That is like the rich,
I really
isn't it?
like the sleazy bed. I really like it.
Of course the 1% would have the sleazy bed. The golden
I
toilet.
was a little disappointed that they included the coin slot, but it doesn't do anything.
I know. It'd be fun to like have your character lay down on it and it just go and it just kind of like shakes around. like not enough to really do anything, but enough to make you know it's moving. Which is how they work anyway.
Oh, it's so funny.
But they did add some more stuff in honor of the Brotherhood of Steel and junk. You can get the Junkyard Camp Bundle, which includes a couple things like a raider pole, a water catching thing.
Vassalsa in chat says that she's putting her sleazy bed in the CD shed.
Oh no!
So good. It's so good.
Woof. And a car on cinder blocks too. So that's the Junkyard Camp Bundle, and that's 1,200 atoms, available until August 25th. The rest of these are also available until August 25th. The Junkyard Power Armor Paint, the Pack Rat Backpack, Fusion Flea Stash Box, Rainwater Collector, and Mothman Cultist Tripod Altar. So those are available until the 25th. I forgot to say the prices. The backpack is 500 atoms. The stash box is 500. The Rainwater Collector is 500. And the Tripod Altar is 250 atoms. By the way, the Junkyard Camp Bundle includes the Tripod Altar, the Junkyard Fence. It's the bonus item when you buy it. The Fusion Flea Stash Box, and the Rainwater Collector. So there you go. Let's see, what else do we have here? Some things that are available until August 11th are the Red Rocket Garage for 500 atoms, the Big Game Hunter Camp Bundle for 1,200 atoms, the Minecart Cooking Station for 500, Hunting Lodge Chair for 300, Pallet Wood Floor for 300, Pallet Wood Wallpaper also for 300. I need the music back. The Tire Toilet Outhouse for 300, the Rustic Fountain for 300 as well. The following items are available until August 18th, which is the Camo Secret Service Armor for 600 atoms, the Camo Secret Service Under Armor for 600 atoms, the Secret Service Bobblehead Display for 500 atoms, Firing Range Posters for 300, and Cinder Blocks Wallpaper for 300, Bob. All right, Greatest Hits. Still kicking along here. Things are on sale there. Until August 25th, you can get the Nuka-Cola Secret Door Bundle for 840 atoms. You can get the CD Shed to put your sleazy bed in for 400 atoms. Until August 11th, you can get the Green Thumb Bundle for 1,200 atoms. I love the plants that they have in that bundle. Love it. It's so nice. And then the potted succulents are 120 atoms. The mini Deathclaw statues available. The classical columns. The mini power armor statue. The nuclear blast lamp. The nuclear blast lamp for 300 atoms. Kill, Laugh, Love neon sign is 420. If anyone ever makes that IRL, I want to buy it so bad. The Plague Doctor mask is 350 atoms. The Amitre Inventor's laser gun skin is 250 atoms, and the Coal Dust Excavator Power Armor Paint is a Fallout First exclusive at 80% off for 160 atoms. There are only 3 items headed for the Vault, and that is the Stimpack player icon for 30 atoms, the Sugar Bombs player icon for 30 atoms, and the Giddy Up Buttercup player icon for 30 atoms. You can save all your atoms and not buy any of them. That's my advice.
Are you buying anything from all of this fabulousness, Rick?
I have purchased the Green Thumb Bundle. I've purchased... I closed it prematurely like you do sometimes. Hold on. I'm not buying the Hunter thing. I don't think I'm buying the Junkyard stuff because... I don't know. One of the things that makes me excited is the Secret Service bobblehead, just because it's black.
Yeah, I thought that was neat, but it's also kind of boring. I'm not sure.
I like the sleek blackness. What about you, Shaline? What are you buying from this?
You know what? My trust fund atoms are really stacking up. I haven't bought anything for a little while.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I might just save them this week. See what they have next week.
Yeah, there wasn't anything really available in this that I really wanted. I'd gotten the Green Thumb Bundle and the potted succulents because in real life I love planters and plants. I do not have a green thumb. I kill everything.
Oh, I love plants.
So in games like this, I live my inner fantasies by putting succulents and potted things everywhere. I want to live in like a jungle,
I did see a camp that Captain Bones had built with this junkyard stuff. It was a raider style camp, and it looked fantastic.
Oh,
so
nice.
If you are going for that aesthetic of the DIY, knocked up fortifications with hastily knocked together fortifications is what I mean. Of course, with like rusty tin and pieces of wood and stuff. Stop it, Rick. Stop it.
Tin roof. Rusted.
Yes, but Bones made a really great camp with that. So if that's the kind of aesthetic that you're going for, and it makes sense in a Fallout world, it really does. It makes a lot more sense than things like the Contemporary Building Bundle that I adore so much. That's so clean and tidy.
But why can't they make new things after the old things have been destroyed? Like, I mean, you make new paint, you cut new timber from the trees, and you can make the contemporary house thing again.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on.
True. Yeah.
Moxie86 says she's thinking of saving up for Halloween stuff, and she's right. I forgot about that. I like decorating my houses in the theme for the... So if you remember my camp from 4th of July, I had confetti everywhere. I had the red, white, and blue streamers hanging off the windows.
The neon
Actually,
stars.
the neon blinky stars everywhere. I filled up my entire camp budget just based on blinky neon stars. And unfortunately, I didn't get any of the fireworks on 4th of July weekend. I was really bummed, so I'll have to save them for next year. Because 4th of July, we're all going to get together virtually and shoot off some fireworks. But anyway, speaking of some gameplay... All right. I have been playing Fallout 76.
Have you now?
I have been, yes. Not as much as I would like to, but I have been playing, and I don't know if I've talked about it since we've done one of these, but I'll just touch base on it. I was living at WJLG Lake, and I was getting attacked a lot by super muties and death claws and just things that were frustrating. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to a more peaceful neighborhood. And so I went to the Cranberry Bog, because apparently that's the more peaceful side of town. And I settled.
It was near the Dr. Seuss forest, right?
It was north of Watoga, north of the Dr. Seuss forest, and just east of the road. There's a broken down house in front of me that I could see. If you know where the hermit crab spawns, I was near that as well. Every once in a while, something would anger it, and it would run over and start mauling my building. And so I built like a fort, like 4 corners, and the middle was open, and I had 8 turrets, and just the building capacity just got eaten up in a heartbeat. And it was a bummer, because I like decorating and making things look cool. And I accidentally settled on a mole rat spawn. So every time I like joined in, mole rats would and they'd pop up out of nowhere. I still love that they pop up out of like the steel like sheet grate stairs that you can see through. They somehow just like pop out of it. So I got a little frustrated at that and not being able to build anything. So I have moved back to WJLG Lake because it's honestly the best place in the game to live. It's beautiful, you know?
Yeah, it really is. It's a good lake.
And then I found a really nice boulder. And
it is a nice boulder.
It is. And I was like, what? If I don't know if anyone else knows what lake we speak of, but it's the lake in the south that's west of Watoga. Not in the Savage. Is it in the Savage Divide? Yeah, I guess it is the Savage Divide. But it's on the very south of the map. There's a bear, I think, icon that we're near. Anyway, the lake is not on the map. It's not shown. It doesn't show up on the map, but it's at the very south bit, west of Watoga. Near, what's that one camp where we used to like to get
Johnson's
supplies?
Acre.
Yeah, it's just south of Johnson's Acre. And so there's a boulder in the middle of this lake, and I've always thought, like, I want to build something around that boulder. I have this fascination with architecture in the sense of my dream home would be one of those like 1950s, 60s houses that like they built in those neighborhoods in Vegas, like with the slanty roofs and like the whiz-bang atomic kitchens and stuff, but also like nature decor inside of it. My wife's aunt and uncle used to live out of state, and they had a house that had a tree in it, like an actual tree growing in the middle of their house that went up 2 floors. It was really cool. I loved that aspect of having nature inside of a building. So I was like, I really want to do something with it. So I started building around it and seeing what I could do. I moved again, if you didn't catch the hint. I started putting like foundations around it and seeing what I could do. And I found that you could build pretty much in the boulder, kind of. And my foundations ended up laying out a pool. So because you can't build super close to the boulder, the way the boulder is kind of diagonal. So there's like part of a 1x2, like square kind of thing where there's water. And so I put stairs on the foundations. I put a wraparound porch around the house, but the side where the pool is on, I've left no walls. So it's just open air. The roof, the house is 3 stories. There's like a small second story where the bar is. And then the third story is just a pathway to get to the upper deck where like the workshop / lounge is. And it just so happened that where the water was at the boulder, there's enough boulder where I could set some chairs and a table in the water, but not so it's built in the water. And I put like a radio there on the boulder. I put plants all over the boulder. I put accent lighting down inside the plants so they shine up on the plants.
It looks good. I love the accent lighting.
There's for the roof, I put in because there's no glass roofs. I put in the metal scaffolding floor, so it's see-through, and the rain comes down in. You can look up and see the stars when you're sitting on the chair, but it's still like, a roof kind of thing. So I did all that. Like I said, it's open air, so you can just like walk out on the porch and you're just outside. There's a fireplace, the modern fireplace I put in the corner of the contemporary porch, so like the smokestack sticks through the roof and it smokes out above it. Put like a couple of benches and chairs, and it's just like I was looking at it and I'm like, this looks reminiscent of the Playboy Mansion grotto from like the 1960s. And so I kind of have that in mind now with like this like party thing, and I made it a mission to go buy the bathrobes. So whenever I'm at home, I just put on the bathrobes and wear my nice eyeglasses with my dapper hair. And I actually was able to find the bathrobes. And so yeah, I'm really happy with this like party house thing. I always build houses with the mindset that like I'll have people over and then like never have anybody over. Like, it's sad. Like you guys come over and we're like,
yeah,
this
but
is
we
cool.
don't count. We don't count because we're not company, like we live in each other's houses just as much as our own.
Yeah, but like part of me is like,
it's not the same.
I know, but part of me is like, we'll have people over for like a virtual hangout. We'll have drinks, And like that's how I build these places. I build these houses thinking we'll have like virtual hangout party sessions, and they never happen. But that's how I build anyway. And
we should do it though. We could start we could do a Saturday afternoon, like a game day. And hang out in Discord and hang out at your house.
This is kind of like the whole idea in my head was just like, oh, it'd be fun to like 4th of July. We'll have people over.
We can barbecue.
So anyway, I made this whole house, and it's turning out okay. I'm still kind of playing with the decor, and trying to put succulents in such a way where they act as ground cover. But yeah, it's kind of difficult to build in the area, and like getting power to the boulder was very hard, and I still haven't completely figured it out yet. So it's not complete, but it's looking nicer. It's looking more like home every day. I switched my fully automatic build to a single shot build, just putting perk cards on. But I need to do a little more research into like, all right, how can I make a single shot build a little more powerful? Because it's just, I turned on the damage numbers, and shooting level 66 feral ghouls with the powerful receiver on a semi-automatic handmade, it's only doing like 66 damage each shot, and I just feel like that's not a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm not quite sure why that is. I have some like there's a lot of armor piercing stuff on it, but anyway, we've been playing a lot of Nuclear Winter. By hook or by crook, but really it's a guilty pleasure for us. And again, we've been doing okay. We've been doing all right. Last night we played a little, and I didn't do so hot. I wasn't shooting. I couldn't hit the broadside of a barn because when there was a broadside in front of me, I still couldn't hit it for the life of me. But we had some really nice matches. I'm trying to think of how they went. Well, not last night, but there was a couple nights ago where we did a couple of spicy drops, and we actually survived and murder killed a few people. We got Overseer, I think, once in the week. We got second place last night, which was nice.
Yeah, it seems like we do better on the times that we just kind of goof off and we're like, okay, this time we're not going to worry about playing the game well. We're just going to go get the challenge, the daily challenge.
Yeah.
So like last night it was what was it? Stim packs? Use stim
3
packs?
stim packs. Yep.
Yeah. So we just, you were jumping off the roof at the penitentiary and using the stim packs. And then after we all got our stim packs used, then we started playing the game, and we managed to get second place. And yeah.
Sulior asks in chat, do we prefer Morgantown or Flatwoods? Morgantown. We actually had this discussion last night of why it feels like we can't really get the hang of Flatwoods. And I guess we just don't play it enough. But, well, like, last night was really strange. Because, yeah, we were trying to do the stim pack thing. And I was like, well, if I get hit, I'll just spam the stim packs. I'm in power armor. And this dude turns a corner and, like, clink, 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 doom, and I drop, like, in an instant. And I was like, what? Like, who? How did I drop in an instant, you know? Like, maybe he had, like, chems and just good shots, good placement. Okay, whatever. And then there was, like, twice where I ambushed someone where my muzzle was stuck in their back. And I was firing from the hip because one of the guns was a scoped Magnum, and there's no way I'm hitting anything when I scope in. So I'm firing from the hip with this pistol shoved down this guy's throat, missed every single shot. And I was like, maybe that was just bad shooting. Like, I can have some bad shooting every once in a while, but that was like really bad shooting. Like, Harry, you're alive, but you're a horrible shot kind of shooting. But it didn't look like that on my screen. Like, I could have swore the cursor was on the dude. So then I had my famous submachine gun that I love to death. I had 200 rounds for it, ready to blast away. And I'm crouched down below this rock, and I look up, and there's a dude on top of the rock with a missile launcher. And I'm like, ha-ha, he doesn't know I'm here. And I stand up, and I sight in, fap, 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 fap. And I hit him 3 times. He jumps, so I leave sighted mode because he's got the marsupial thing jumping around. And I am just unloading, just I empty the entire clip and didn't hit him one time. And then I had another, like, introspection. I kind of stood there in my head while he's jumping around, and I'm like, am I really that bad of a shot? I mean, he was right there. And the gun usually doesn't miss that much. I mean, I have the thing shoved down his throat, and I'm opened up, and it's a machine gun with 50 rounds. Like, one of them should have hit, like, just statistically speaking, one of them should have went, like, and hit him, you know? But none of them hit him. And I don't know if it was, like, me. It's like one of those things where the game is, like, so broken enough where you're like, maybe the game is actually, like, screwed up for me tonight or something. Because, like, I wasn't hitting anything all night, and I could have swore I was supposed to hit stuff. So I don't know. It was just one of those nights where, like, you question who you are as a human being because of how bad you've played. But anyway, yeah. So yes, Rick had a stormtrooper kind of night. I definitely did. How was your gameplay, Shaline?
Well, it was good. I had a great couple of weeks in Fallout 76. Of course, I've been doing the dailies. I've been trying to keep up with the dailies every day. I've only missed a few, so doing pretty well on the legendary run. One day I logged in. I've been playing mostly with Archin and occasionally with you when you're available. But Archin happened to come across a legendary rolling pin. So he modded it up and gave that to me. And we called it Mod's Rolling Pin. I put on the Meat Week outfits with the bloodied chef outfit and the chef hat. And I spent that day rolling events with this rolling pin, just going through them with this rolling pin. And it was so good. Of course, it's a rolling pin. It's not the most powerful weapon out there, but I didn't care. I was just rushing the death claws and whatever with this thing. It was glorious, just glorious. Also, I don't know if I've mentioned this, but Archin got me a Crocolossus backpack. So those were available, the Crocolossus backpack plans for during the Mole Miner lunchbox event when we were rolling mole miners for their lunches. And it was pretty rare. And I was really excited and surprised when he pulled out this Crocolossus backpack plan. So I'm very excited with my little crocodile plushie on my back. I love it. Feel very fancy. And I also had a really weird nuclear winter glitch. I don't think that I've talked about this on a show yet.
Was it that you were shooting from the hip at somebody point blank and it missed every shot?
It was not that,
Oh,
no.
okay, all right.
No, not that one. So we spawn in at the penitentiary, and it is a spicy drop, a very spicy drop. And I spawn kind of underneath the map. I can't see any of the walls or buildings at Penitentiary. I can see the other players. I can see the fire. I can see ground. I can see mountains. But I can't see any of the environment items. I can't see any of the buildings. I can't see the conjugal visit trailers. I can't see rocks. I can't see anything.
You know,
And
I never thought about them as conjugal visit trailers, even though I knew that's what they
plainly
were.
they're that's
But
just
now I'm
obviously
not
what
ever
they
gonna
are.
not see them as that.
That's absolutely what they are. And so gosh, that derailed me.
Sorry.
So I couldn't really move much. I was kind of stuck where I was, and it was really weird. I thought the other players couldn't see me. And somehow I survived that first little section of slaughter, utter slaughter in the Penitentiary. Archon got a couple of kills, but he didn't make it. He was eventually defeated, and he went into spectate mode. And for him, everything looked normal. He could see my character and he could see all the stuff. And he's like, well, you can't move because you're walking into a wall. Turn around. So
Wow.
he was in spectate mode and he was guiding me around. He's like, no, you need to go through this gate. Turn left, oh, okay, go forward. Okay, stop. Turn right. Now you need to jump up a little bit. So he's guiding me towards Morgantown, and we managed to survive this way for several minutes. We made it to the outskirts of Morgantown with me unable to see anything.
Oh my gosh.
And Archon just guiding me through it and telling me where to go. Cyber says he was my seeing eye Archon. Yes, exactly. But it was really funny that he managed to get me through that far. And eventually another player ran up on me and he was able to see me. I thought I was invisible, but he was able to see me and he killed
Did you
me.
stop?
Yeah.
Maybe
Well, the thing is, I couldn't get any weapons or any aid or anything because I couldn't see the crates. He had found a crate and he was like, okay, there's a crate right in front of you, but I couldn't interact with it. So,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, so I wasn't able to get any stuff. So it was so weird. But it was really funny, and I was very glad that Archon was there to guide me through. We made it all the way to the outskirts of Morgantown. I was very, very proud of us. Okay, and this next story I like to call Sleep Squatch. So at WJLG Lake, in the spot where Vendor had his house, there is now a random event spawn. All kinds of crazy stuff happens there.
Yesterday there was a vertibot just crashed in the lake.
It's something different every day. And I spawned in, and every time I spawn in, I like to just have a little look over there and see what's going on. And I saw a sheep squatch, and it just kind of flumped down to the ground. And I thought, that's really strange. So I went over there, and I heard a snore, a little gentle snoring sound. So I went into sneak mode, and I start sneaking up. And sure enough, this sheep squatch is asleep in its nest, and it's snoring. And so I'm creeping up on this sheep squatch with my camera out like a National Geographic nature photographer. I was so excited. And Archon hops on the call. And I'm like, don't come here. There's a sleeping sheep squatch. I'm sneaking up on it. So he went to my base and he was watching from my base through a scope. As I slowly crept closer and closer to this sheep squatch, I'm photographing it. And eventually I get right up next to it. And I'm in the nest with the sheep squatch. And I got curious as to whether or not I would be able to use photo mode without waking it up. And it turns out I could. So I have a series of photos with this sleeping sheep squatch. I have one on the screen now. You can see Jim Justice there is snuggled up to the sleeping sheep squatch.
Your arm is on its leg.
Yes. He's kind of resting his head on the sheep squatch's leg. It's
not,
so good.
when you first told me this, I could not believe it that you had the
Ah,
patience to do this.
I couldn't believe it either. It was so funny. Um, I was just sneaking up on it, and I remember Archon telling me on the call, like, "You're cuddling with a sheep squatch?" Like, really? It's like, yeah. So we did eventually wake it and murder it. But I felt a little badly about that. I did feel a little badly about that, but hey, you do what you got to do.
Isn't that hilarious? Like anytime you see one of them, you're like, kill it. But the one time you like see it sleeping and like get near it and then leave, you're kind of like now attached to it
Yes,
for no reason
exactly.
whatsoever.
Well, I mean, we
He's not
did
even
have a
cute.
nice snuggle. We cuddled together, had a lovely nap, So I feel like we do have that connection between us, the sheep squatch and I, but maybe I'll keep its quills as a souvenir.
Oh,
Oh,
I cuddled with
dear.
it and then I killed it.
Yes, I took the Black Widow option for the sheep squatch. Speaking of romance, I progressed Beckett's quest line a little bit with Jim Justice. Of course, I've been taking all of the Wastelanders content very, very slowly. But I did some of Beckett's quest line. I did the part with his friend Sage, where Sage comes back to your camp. And I really enjoyed Sage. He was so fun. And those dialogue options, I found them hilarious. It was so funny. And I had an option to use a flirt option with Beckett. And I was like, this is it. This is what I've been waiting for. So I used the flirt option. And Beckett like chuckles awkwardly and says, thanks. And I'm like, why is this the response when I flirt? Like, this is what real life is like. I'm supposed to be having a fantasy experience. This is a video game. But anyways, Beckett, he's very charming. Archon and I hung out with Bit Trash for a while one day. That's always a good time. So that was fun. Shout out to Bit Trash. And another thing, of course, most of you know that my favorite weapon in this game is the Bear Skull Fist, which is made of a Yao Guai skull. It's a very wicked looking weapon. Archon happened to obtain one of the mod plans for this thing. So he modded it up, and now there's this very sort of eldritch, just tentacly looking bits of rebar coming out of the mouth of this bear skull. And it's just, it's magnificent. I love it so much. It's such a strange and wonderful weapon. And I imagine that it must weigh like 25 pounds, but it's just so devastating when you hit somebody with this thing. I love it.
It growls, doesn't it?
It kind of does. Yeah. I don't know if that's just us imagining it or if it does have a little growl, but it makes me darn happy regardless. So I can hardly bear it. Of course, we went together and checked out some of the new changes at Atlas and donated some steel. I was really excited to install the sleazy heart bed at my camp. I put it upstairs in the reading room. So definitely I've been using that mostly as my bed now. One day, for the level up challenge, Jim Justice was pretty far from leveling up, and he's kind of high level. I just didn't have time. So I went to Quesadilla, which is a character that I created for the purpose of everything's okay.
Everything's fine.
Okay, we're back.
It's fine. It's nothing. Nothing happened. Everyone
everything's fine.
Everyone yeah,
No
we're
problems.
fine.
Yes. Let me just tell the people to refresh. So
I do
Quesadilla.
that to I do this. That was a test of the chat room to see if there was anyone still in and just to, generate some activity.
Goodness. Okay, good job, Rick. Good job. So we took over one of the settlements that's a farm, the workshop that's a farm. I forget the name of it. And I get the notification that we're going to have a defense event, right? So an attack is imminent, and I say, "Oh yes, look, an attack is imminent. I should build a couple of turrets." So I'm there with my level 5 character, and I build 3 turrets, and I'm very proud of them. And I turn around from my 3 turrets, and Archon has built 6 large platforms. Each platform has 6 turrets on it. This man drives me insane. I was
This
I
is
was so
Tom. This
proud
is
of my
Dick and
little 3
Harry.
turrets.
Oh.
And he's got just all of these turrets on these stands. It was ridiculous. So we did get a good laugh out of that, and I had a good time trying to shoot the ghouls before they got in range of the turrets, because they were just turned to Swiss cheese immediately as soon as they got into range of the turrets. So I was doing some sniping. It was very fun. Of course, we've been doing a lot of nuclear winter. I'm enjoying that. We are getting pretty good at it. I feel like we're consistently very high scoring, but I've noticed that we have started to recognize a lot of the other players in the nuclear winter lobbies. And there's this one team in particular that wear the bear outfits.
Oh, God.
And whenever we see those guys, we're like, oh man, it's the bear guys.
Good.
They're going to beat us.
The one match we took out 2 teams.
Mm-hmm.
Spicy drop and took people out. 2 teams. And 2 of the bear guys come up on us and wreck our faces.
They steamrolled us. They just steamrolled us. Those bear guys are so good. So if you're out there, if you're listening, bear guys, you guys are amazing. But we're coming for you.
And the thing is like we can tell their kills are clean. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like they're good, and we can. And there's never been an instance of like, oh, what the heck was that? Like, never.
Yeah, we've never questioned if they were
kills.
cheating. They're good at nuclear winter. So, it's funny that we recognize several of the people. Sometimes we'll die and we'll see who killed us and think, oh yeah, I'm not even mad.
Was it
Crazy
Crazy 666, or what was the guy's name? Something 666?
I don't remember his name.
But that's one of them.
I remember it had the 66, but
yeah,
I don't remember his name. But lots of fun. I did manage to get to level 50, so I can now hang out in Zax's room behind the overseer's office. It's the elite area where the 1% can go. So there was that double score weekend a little while back. And Archon and I picked up our Xbox characters so that we could go ahead and get at least to the ammo converter on our Xbox characters. I had not picked up this character in forever. So it took a little while to get used to everything and not living at the lake, being lower level, all these things. And I just wanted to say, this character, I was going through her inventory. She had prime meat in her pocket from last year's meat week.
Had to have been green.
It's been that long since I've played my Xbox character. So I'm hoping that by the time meat week rolls around, it won't have spoiled yet and I can use it for meat week. I would love that so much to have like a year-aged prime meat for meat week.
Does it have a spoil bar?
It does have a spoil bar, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Huh.
So, and of course, my magazine collection is progressing very nicely. Rick is doing a face right now because he's real tired of my magazine collection.
No, it has everything to do with the magazine you found last night.
Why were you so weirded out by that? I was excited. Of course
my ears
I was
were
excited.
bleeding.
Oh, okay.
You just were like, she yelled so much, my headphones distorted.
Yeah. Sorry, Rick. Sorry. I didn't realize that I was deafening you with my shrieks of joy.
What was the movie It's a Wonderful Life?
Mm-hmm.
When he boxes his ears?
Yeah.
No,
Sorry about that.
I understand the collection when you finally find the thing you've been looking for so long. No, I totally get it. I genuinely get the reaction. I just like picking on you. How close are you?
4 magazines away. I need 1 Astoundingly Awesome, 1 Tesla Science, and 2 Scouts Lives. And I'm very focused on getting this done. So anytime I have the Panopictographist perk activated so that it makes a little noise when we're near a magazine, and I have it shared so that you guys can also hear it in case you are near a magazine. And whenever we hear that ding, everything stops and we have to find the magazine.
You Kool-Aid man it through a wall.
Where's
it at?
I do. I'm so excited. And you guys will be looking for it too to help me. And you'll be like, oh, yeah, it's a Grognak. I'm like, dang it. I have a full set of Grognaks.
And Lord help anyone in Shalene's path after the magazine has glitched through the ground.
Yes. We have learned the art of using grenades and mines to get glitched magazines out of the environment. But I've been so focused on it, Rick, that I sometimes hear that ding noise that the perk makes when you're near a magazine. I sometimes hear that noise when I'm not playing Fallout.
Really?
Yes, it has happened several times this week.
Wow. I don't know what to say to that.
So I'm slowly going mad in the pursuit of a full magazine collection. But I've been having a lot of fun with Fallout 76, doing the dailies, hanging out with you and Arjun. It's been lovely. Just lovely.
It has been super, super fun, and I'm excited to do it after the show. Yeah.
Me too.
Well, all right. Thank you for that awesome gameplay. It's been a lot of fun to play the game again, and I've been kind of thinking about the game, and I think you and I have talked about Fallout 76 in the sense that like it's not that it doesn't feel like a Fallout. It just feels like a game you play with friends.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's been few and far between that I've picked this game up to play by myself. And I've noticed that even when I play the storyline that I haven't played before, I'm skipping through dialogue. And it's not
I don't do that.
I mean, I know you don't, but it just goes to show. I was thinking about that the other day. I'm like, why am I skipping through this dialogue? I'm reading it. I'm reading the text, but I'm like skipping through it. It's like, oh, because this is an MMO, and it makes me feel like I need to get through it so I can keep up. You know what I mean? And I don't mind that because that's how I play MMOs. I tend not to focus on any of the story on MMOs just because there's so much to do and I have such limited time. I had such limited time to play the game, and I just kind of rush through it so I can get the rewards and stuff. And I often miss so much lore. And now that the game's been out for a long time and people have scoured and created the wikis so we can actually do some stuff, it'll be fun to dig in a little bit more to some of this lore that's been happening. But I've been really enjoying the camp. I've been enjoying the legendary run. I've just really been enjoying my time in this game. So, but anyway, we have an email from someone else who's been enjoying Fallout 76. I had to skim through the email to make sure that was true. Because we don't proof. I didn't proofread this. Proof. I had to reboot. Anyway, hi there, TFS crew. Bryce writes, hope this email finds y'all in good spirits. I wanted to start out by saying I very much appreciate y'all's show, and each of you hosts bring something good to my ear holes with every episode. Well, that's good. Thank you for the work you guys put into each show. Little does he know. I'm just kidding. I'm somewhat new to Fallout. It was introduced to me only 3 years ago when I drunk eBayed a used Xbox 360. Good purchase. I hadn't had a gaming system since the days of Super Nintendo, so it was a big leap in tech.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say. When did it get 3D? I'm glad I was wearing cheap socks when I first experienced New Vegas because it blew them things right off my toes. Since New Vegas, I've gone all in on Fallout and went back and played through Fallout 3, 4, and also 1 and 2, the ISOs. No joke, quite the challenge. Yeah, I couldn't even get through those. So
I feel like Bryce has got an amazing, charming accent, and I wish we had audio of him reading this letter.
What accent though?
It's definitely probably some kind of Southern accent.
Yes,
probably Texan.
I'm here in Tennessee.
Yeah, could be Tennessee.
Yeah, so
let us know, Bryce.
Yes.
Let us know.
And we won't disclose it, but we can hear it. What if he's like from Norway? So anyway, now thanks to y'all's enthusiasm, my wife and I now started playing Fallout 76 together. My character is Popcorn Sutton, named after the famed Appalachian moonshiner.
That's
Definitely
awesome.
Southern. We now filled our empty nest time with camp building and Squatch massacres in our weekly misadventures. Just wanted to say thanks for discussing 76 in a positive light. I guess I should wrap this lengthy email up. The guy behind me won't stop blowing his car horn. Thanks again to you, vendor Shaline and Rick, and we'll see you all around the wasteland. G. Bryce Smith. Nice. Oh, P.S. Could you shoot me a link to the Discord? Have we done that?
Oh, no. I should do that. Somebody remind me to invite Bryce to the Discord, okay?
Awesome. Okay, so that is the email. Any announcements, Shaline?
Oh, well, of course, as always, come back next week for Game Stack Podcast, our general gaming show, in which we will talk about things that aren't Fallout and maybe a bit of Fallout as well.
Like No Man's
And
Sky.
of course, yes, like No Man's Sky.
Minecraft.
So good. I'm going to play Roki this week. I'm very excited about that.
Nice. I
Yeah.
don't know what that is.
It's an indie game.
That's why I
It's
don't know what it
based
is.
on kind of Scandinavian folklore. So I'm looking forward to that. That was one of the games that I had the opportunity to interview the developers
Oh, cool.
last year. So it was very cool.
Wonderful.
And of course, check out Vendortron on Twitch, twitch.tv/Vendortron. He streams several nights a week. Rick, are you going to continue doing the record streams in the Discord?
I am. This weekend is going to be a busy one, so I will not be doing it this weekend. But if you're in the Discord, I will at everyone usually before I start streaming. What I do is
Lovely.
I have a large vinyl collection, and I'll play the vinyl on a chat room in Discord. So everything you hear, straight up vinyl stuff. There's no digital MP3s. And I'm not doing that for sound quality. I just people often ask me like, "You really have that many records?" I'm like, "Yes, I do." So,
and of course, so definitely check that out.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And also check out my other podcast, Dames Who Game.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lovely show we do once a month. Myself and several of the ladies from the ASA podcasting community. So they're a fun crowd. I love hanging out with them.
Yes, I can't wait to do another Games Who Dame. No, that's not right.
Dame Stack is what we called the Game Stack episode.
Yes.
We talked about bringing you guys to Dames Who Game, and I believe there was a great suggestion for the title in the Discord. Let me just click in there.
And I don't remember what it was.
Dames Who Game Stack.
Oh.
So that was courtesy of Lee.
Nice. Okay. All right. Cool. So you can further this, whatever you want to call this experience, on Twitter at you can tweet at the show at That Fallout Show. You can tweet at the network /GameStack at We Just Love Games. You can tweet at Shaline L and Vendortron at VendortronN. You can find us on Facebook if that's your cup of social media. Facebook.com/That Fallout Show and groups /That Fallout Show, as well as anything GameStack or network related on Facebook.com/We Just Love Games or /groups /We Just Love Games. Email us at info@WeJustLoveGames.com and we will most likely read it on the show like we did Bryce's wonderful email tonight. Like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/We Just Love Games. You can find our show on iTunes and Stitcher Radio. If you leave us a review on iTunes with some texts and 5 stars, we will shout you out at the beginning of the show. If there aren't that many of them, we'll also read that review as well. We record live every other Friday at 6:30 Mountain, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on twitch.tv/We Just Love Games. And again, like Shaline said earlier, our other show next Friday at same time, same place, GameStack. Join us for that. And we try to do Twitch streams when we can, but Vendortron tends to do most of them on his channel, twitch.tv/VendortronN. Thank you so much for listening. And Shaline, what is the last word?
Ad Victoriam.